Barakati Hawa, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Hawa, Barakati Yahushai, Barakati Hawa, Barakata Yahushai. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rokakodash. Double honors, apostles, and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to you, beloved Akim, that's pushing his word in sincerity and truth, with humiliation all across the four winds. To you, I salute. This is the brother Desire One back at you with another lesson. Alright, we in the time of judgment. A lot of things happening in the earth. A lot of judgment. Alright. This lady came to the Caribbean to celebrate her sister's birthday. And gone on, alright, in the Caribbean. Came back in a body bag. Alright, she from Miami. Alright. This what happens when, like the scripture say, let me get this first. Let me get this precept first, right? But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. A lot of these women living in pleasure, they dead from the neck up and they don't even know. Alright? A lot of these women living in pleasure in these last days. And, not everything that glitters is gold. You see certain niggas to the club and then you fucking, you take, for face value, you don't know what the shit what that nigga doing or who, you don't know the ins and out or the background of them niggas. When you see strange dudes. But you'll find out this girl enter the same judgment as this dude. Could be anybody. Florida woman went on Caribbean vacation to celebrate a birthday and returned in a body bag after leaving nightclub with businessman. A 29-year-old Miami woman who went on a vacation to the Caribbean for her sister's birthday. That's why I mean supposed to be celebrating this shit. These pagan customs, boy. Alright, for her sister's birthday trip was fatally shot in an incident authorities are investigating as a targeted attack. Denisha Delancey has traveled to St. Martin early last month with her sister and friends. Footage posted to social media shows the group enjoying their time on the beach in the nightclubs. She was an attractive young lady. Alright, the Most High in respect of persons. It says Denisha Delancey was vacationing in St. Martin when she was gunned down in what the authorities suspect was a targeted attack on suspected Trinidadian drug dealer. You see, so, you get caught up with these niggas, you don't know the shit they be doing, in this day and time, you not know Jake is being into a lot of shit, so he's got to be careful, Said the trip took a tragic turn on March 2nd when Delancey was killed in a double shooting alongside a Trinidadian businessman, Quincy Damon Sylvester, who was a suspected drug dealer who reportedly used his business as a front for illegal operations in the area. Alright? Dealing with that damn witchcraft. Local reports say a vehicle carrying Sylvester and Delancey was ambushed by gunmen and overturned on a road in Phillipsburg. You see? Judgment. Surveillance footage showed several known individuals tracking Quincy movement from the time he left the nightclub. Authorities believe that the culprits responsible were carrying a targeted hit on Sylvester and that Delancey was an unfortunate victim absorbed in the violence. That's judgment. That's judgment from the Lord. It was later reported that local police arrested one suspect, but others are still at large. The investigation into the double homicide is still ongoing. Okay? More video footage shows a homegrown service for Delancey once her body make it back to home. A funeral service took place on April 4th at the Miami church. Okay? You see? Judgment. Okay? Judgment in these last days. Okay? The wicked ain't gonna go unpunished. You won't know the shit. You might know you don't know if he done crook a lot of niggas. These women them must be doing all kind of shit. Alright. You see? Shit. She left a nightclub with a businessman. You see, something else I wanted. Something else I wanted to lock you, right? Give me a minute. There's a video and yeah, man. There's a video clip. Check this out, right? Check this out.
Sister, and ended up coming home in a casket. Denisha Delancey was just 29 years old, born and raised in Miami, Florida. A certified baddie from Liberty City, she loved to go out, travel, and enjoy life. This March, they were
See that living in pleasure is dead while she live it, babe.
planning to celebrate her sister Sincaria's 29th birthday by planning a trip to the island of St. Martin with another friend for the very first time. The three young ladies booked a beautiful Airbnb on the Dutch side of the island along with a private driver. As soon as they arrived on the island, they went to their Airbnb, got cleaned up, and immediately went out to have fun at a day party. Later that night, they went to a club called the White Rabbit, and they met a man from Trinidad who was now living in St. Martin. He was being very generous and making sure that they were well taken care of. So, by the time the night ended, they told their private driver that they didn't need him anymore, and they decided to ride home with this man because he had also booked an Airbnb just a few doors down from theirs. They made it back to the
That's how these women go, having fun, taking everything for face value until things turn out to be tragic.
room. The birthday girl and their friend Sasha went inside, while Denisha decided she was going to hang out with the men a little bit more. The plan was for them to go back to his Airbnb and hang out, but instead he drove her back to the club, and Denisha never made it back to her sister again. Her sister tried calling Denisha's phone over and over again, but there was no answer. Some hours later, they got a call from their private driver asking them if they were okay, and the girl said yes, but Denisha never made it back from hanging out with that man. When the driver heard this, he said, "Oh no, that man you were with, he was found dead early this morning." When the police first arrived on the scene, they thought it was just another traffic accident. But as they investigated, they saw that it was way more than that. Inside the car, they found a male driver and a female passenger, and they were both unresponsive. But when they investigated further, they realized that the crash was not the cause of their deaths. Police learned that the driver, Quincy Damon Sylvester, was a local businessman who was also suspected of being a drug lord, and police believe this murder was a targeted hit to execute him. Police say they found camera footage showing that there were some unknown men following Quincy around the club all night long. These men allowed them to leave the club and go all the way back to the Airbnb, but when they returned, they took their shot and got their man. Denisha just happened to be with him. Denisha was laid to rest in Miami by her family.
That's what happens, man. You know, meet these jakes and you don't know what the shit they be into. This Ciroc 8 and 15. You should not travel with anyone who is reckless. Alright? Because he's a drug lord. You know the shit he do. You don't know what the shit he been doing. It will cause you nothing but trouble. You see? He will do anything foolish. He will do any foolish thing he pleases, and you will die with him. You know, in this result, you know, he had to do some shit for those niggas to be watching him, the plot out to kill him. And she ended up in the same judgment. You see? So, hey, in these times, boy, you know, that's why some fathers like be careful and tell their daughters not everything is glitter as gold. And these young people there just want to party and have fun. But that same partying could be a last time, boy. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Because you won't get your judgment right away. Alright? You can continue to do more wicked shit. But guess what? Though sinner do evil 100 times, his days be prolonged. Yes, surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Yahweh, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall neither should he prolong his days, which are a shadow, because he feared not before power. You see that? It ain't gonna be well with the wicked. Okay, so a lot of these wicked jakes dealing this pharmacy and these drugs and all kind of shit, these witchcraft and shit. You know, a lot of these women, you know, they don't know these. Sometimes they just go to these clubs, just have a fling. They meet a guy, you know, get laid that same night and do all kind of shit. You know, but that could be a judgment. Just being around a fucking wicked nigga. Alright? The wicked ain't gonna go unpunished. Alright? We in times, boy, it's so crazy. Alright? It's best to just stay from around certain people, but because sometimes you could enter into that same judgment as them. Alright? Being around a wicked person, there ain't shit. You see? So you gotta be careful in this day and time. You see? As her, she got put to death. Regardless how beautiful she is. You see? The Most High is not a respecter of persons. You think he care? Okay? She had to be in wicked. The Lord judge her too. Alright? But yeah, man, I just want to bring out your spirit and power of Yahweh Shemashai. Yeah, man, shalom.